Welcome to Gospel Diaries, a platform that offers a unique avenue for artists to share their stories, to express their emotions, thoughts, and personal journeys. Today we're with Mark Hubbard. What's going on, Gospel Diaries? Listen, I'm so excited, man. I am with a childhood hero. I mean, I've listened to this man's music as long as I can remember. And I'm talking about none other than Mr. Mark Hubbard. He's to my right and he's probably to your left. What's going on, Mark Hubbard?
What's up, young man? How you feel?
I'm hanging in there.
You're
Listen,
good.
there's no need to do any formal introductions because your music, your life, your work, all of that speaks for itself.
Okay.
But I do want to start here just to kind of get the preliminaries out of the way. Tell us about your humble beginnings.
Wow. So as far as in music, period, started at the age of 8. I can tell you how I am now. And as the actual minister music of my mom's church. I'm a PK twice over. My mom was a bishop. My father was an elder in the Lord's church. And so from that point on, I've been in music all my life. And I started at choir at the age of 19. So professionally, I've been doing this since 19. So a long time.
Okay.
No. At 8, I was at home.
Okay.
So wasn't allowed to go anywhere other than at home with church and stuff like that. I mean, we had not a strict upbringing, but I also had good understanding parents that allowed us to have a life. So we did live life, but a respectable life. I just put it that way, and got a life according to our parents. And so, as far as music is concerned, again, like my mom, she was a piano player, so she played the piano. She had to help with community singers.
Really?
So that musical gift kind of like flowed inside of me. So at the age of 8, she kind of had us, doing the music at the church. She would preach, and then I was actually teaching choirs at the age of 9. So around then. Well, I would say it was an ability that it was instilled in me, but I perfected my gift by watching other people. So I grew up watching like Alec Faye directing the choir. One of my childhood. That's my childhood hero. Also, as I grew up in the ministry. Everybody knows that Orlando Drake was one of my perfect mentors. Richard Smallwood, Andre Crouch, and to the day, I look up to my big brother Don Lawrence. So as far as gifting and teaching how I approach music came from them. So just a plethora of people. I kind of look at Walt Hawkins, Edward Hawkins, all of them. So how they approach music musically, and how they vocals, how they approach vocals. As children, my mother would take me and my brother to Cosmopolitan Church of Prayer. Brother Hayes, we would go at the 11 o'clock midnight.
You remember that, huh?
Yes, she was dragging us there. It wasn't really a drag, but it was a drag at the same time. But I was so fascinated by the discipline of that choir. So I always wanted to have a choir because I was just so fascinated by how disciplined they were, how vocally they sound. But disciplined, Reverend Hayes had that choir so disciplined as they are today. A disciplined choir. So that was one of my great inspirations.
Barking on such a huge task. Where did you get the members from? Where did they come from?
Because I didn't have a fear because I know that what God had called me to do, and to so it wasn't a fear. Of course, it's always you don't know what the path is going to lead you down. So, but the members per se, I can't tell you where they came from. They just came. And so as the choir grew. the anointed attracted, you know. So it really does attract. And so we had an assignment, as we still do today, and we was able to grab hold to a lot of members. At one point, I think I had about 90 to 100 choir members. I got one of them in the audience right now. So a long time ago, yeah, but not that far, but yeah, I had a lot of choir members. Now today, yeah, we good with about the 25. I lost a lot of choir members. I let Dexter handle that now.
Oh, look at you. Now, technically, what year did the United Voices for Christ start? What year was that organized?
1986.
1986? Wow, that's before New G.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're older than New G.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You know, we was always, as far as a spiritual assignment, we was just called to make sure that, you know, we were spreading the good news of Christ, to heal and to bring people to a place where they need to be spiritually and uplifting. Engaging wise, of course, we did a lot of things locally within the city of Chicago before we actually recorded our first project, which was in 1992. And after we did that, that's when we started becoming global, you know, national, started traveling around the world. But for the most part, our earlier years, which is pretty much local. And again, I guess I can go back to the fact of how the membership grew, because we were singing all across the city of Chicago, and people would come into the choir and things like that to be a part of it. And like I said, a lot of local assignments, but it was great. Still great today, because I believe if you can touch where you are locally, then you're ready for the masses.
And what were some of the choirs? You remember like Tyrone Dickerson, or what were some of the choirs that you fellowshiped with?
Oh boy, so you really trying to make me think now. Oh man. So, like I said, Nucci was formed in that time as well, so we fellowship with them. Carl Mavis.
Carl Mavis?
Yes. Where is the young man? I just saw him. He's Keith Butler. There we go.
Keith Butler. I was just with Kim yesterday. Okay.
Butler, yeah.
The delegation. Okay.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Yeah, we have to keep these memories alive, man. Because if we don't, man, we're gonna lose it. Because this is a part of who you are. Like this helps to build you, your experiences and things of that sort. But let's talk about you entering into the gospel music industry as a recording artist. How in the world did you get signed with Ty Scott Records?
So actually, how we got signed was we were actually signed by Sweet Nine Records. And from that point, we actually was signed to Ty Scott Records. We actually went in Sweet Nine Records first.
So did you all record prior to the contract with Ty Scott? Like, was that project already in existence, or did you all record that first project under the belt of Ty Scott?
No, the first project was recorded on the belt of Sweet Nine Records.
Okay.
And then from that, which was distributed by Ty Scott Records.
No wonder, because there are...
Michael Houston.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
So we had signed and discovered by Michael Houston.
Okay.
Chicago, he's from Indianapolis. Now he's in Indianapolis.
Okay.
He was in Chicago at that time. So he signed by Michael Houston. He actually was the one that founded us, or not founded us, was the one that what are the words I would say? Yeah, I guess found us as artists, you know, and we signed from that point, and from there we went on to sign with Ty Scott Records, and we had a long run with Ty Scott as well.
We under contract, and how was that contract provided, or what were some of the do's and don'ts with that contract?
So yeah, we were definitely we signed exclusively to Ty Scott Records, and we had a 4-year deal with them, with 2-year options and things like that. So what people don't realize is sometimes when you sign a deal, there's always options as well. So sometimes your deal can be 4 projects, but it's actually 6 or 8, because there's an option on there that says, you know, within that on your time when you sign, you have to produce like either a Christmas album or something like that. But we were signed to a 4-year record with Ty Scott, which we released all 4 records.
Now talk about the experience being with Ty, because it was roughly fresh in a sense. I mean, of course they have LPs, because Rodney Bryan has an LP, but talk about being with an exclusive gospel label in '92. Like, what were some of the perks of that?
You have to understand, back in 1992, when you were signed back in '92, and I'm not saying it doesn't mean anything today, but when you signed back in that time, you signed with Ty Scott, where it was the #1 black-owned record label, gospel record label, and Sony Records and Malaco Records, things like that. That was a huge deal, because again, everybody wasn't getting signed. You know, now today, you can, it's independence, and independents are really strong. So. And having a label back then really meant something. So if you were signed, it was you had a support engine, a real huge support engine that would actually push you out there, make sure that you know where you need to be. Of course, like you said, LPs that was out there, cassette tapes. So that during that time, I wasn't really dating myself. But anyway, but then really, you know, it was a situation where you know, back then having a label, yeah, that was major.
It seems to fall upon others. Look to the hill from whence cometh all your help. Don't need a friend, don't need a, you don't need nobody else. No tribulation to in Christ Jesus.
All right, welcome back to Gospel Diaries. As promised, I told you that we will have Sister Darlene Wills. Actually, she's the sister of one of the world's greatest organists, Shelby Wills.
Yes. Shout out
And
to
your brother
Shelby.
played the drum.
My brother Dennis
right?
played the drums.
You come from a
Yes.
musical family.
Yes.
Actually, can you talk? Give us a little history about your family a little bit.
Well, you said it. I come from a background musical family. Everybody in the family either sings, plays, prays, preaches. It's just a gifted family, not saying in a bragging way, but in a way of being a blessing. And I thank God for my family, from Shelby, who was the maestro, to Dennis, who was the singer and the drummer, to Deborah Wills, who is the singer, who my mom was a lyric soprano, my dad said. So just a whole line of gifts from God.
Wow. Well, listen, I have you here because I want you to share some of your experiences of being with Mark Hubbard and United Voices for Christ. That's where I actually fell in love with you. You know, Without the Lord, How Did You Feel When You Came Out of the Wilderness, and so many other songs. You know what I mean? Like, you can definitely pull out your hollers from the next person's holler. You know, and that's one thing that I appreciate about. So talk about, do you remember when you joined the choir?
Well, now, when you talk about dates, I always say I wish I had Malcolm memory, Malcolm Williams. Wish I had Malcolm memory to remember those dates. But I do know that it was in the 90s, somewhere in the 90s, I became part of the Hubbards. And it was a wonderful experience. There was a lot of first times for me with the Hubbards. My first time singing at a gospel fest, my first time traveling around the country. I'll never forget going overseas to Italy and what the experience was there. Over there, I was a movie star. I was a star. And then I came back to reality. So, but those type of experiences, one of the funny things I remember with being in the Hubbards was, I'm not calling no names like Reggie and Althea. I'm not going to call their names. With every rehearsal, we were in trouble. You know, Malcolm, every trip we were on the bus, just minding our business, and we would just some kind of way get in trouble. But it was just a wonderful experience being a part of that ministry for so many years. My first opportunity, well, not first opportunity to record, but to be out there, so to speak. I recorded with another choir, but it kind of lie dormant. But no, I don't remember. Some very, very long time ago. But yeah, so that opportunity of recording and getting my name out there. Now, to me, and I don't say this because this is an interview, to me, I'm not all of what you said. I have never been that person that just wanted to be out there and to be seen. Even in the Hubbards, it was always I wanted to sing on the back row. Didn't have to be out front. Let the other lead singer sing. But I just thank God for the gift that He's giving me, and I use it to His glory. You know, when I was coming up, I used to hear that not for shape, form, or fashion. Really didn't understand that until I got older. So I did not do it for shape, form, or fashion. I did not do it for me to get glory. But when I sang, I wanted people to feel the anointing from my voice. I wanted souls to be saved. I wanted people to not contemplate suicide and all of that. I wanted all of that from my ministry, not for Darlene to get the accolades, because it's not about me, it's all about God. I'm going to say, of course, the recordings, me saying every recording, and I wish he was here to vouch for this, every recording, I don't have to be on the recording.
You told him that?
I don't have.
Okay.
That's how I was. I was okay being in the background.
Just like Shelby's the same.
Yeah.
Shelby don't
Very.
even have to touch that organ. He's like,
Yes.
why do you want me?
Shelby can walk in a room and get on the keyboard and change the atmosphere. I've seen it happen before, and I'm not even going to say where. There was a service going on, the musician kind of struggled. Shelby came in, the first chord, the atmosphere shifted. So just those memories, and to go across seas and experience having people come and want my autograph. So funny, one of the concerts, after I sang, I went backstage, took my shoes off, because we had sang, oh my God, about 8 to 10 songs, took my shoes off, and I hear all of this applause and this screaming. The young lady comes, she says, can you come back out? Can you come back? Me? Moi? I go back out on the stage, and the people are just, oh my God. That was an oh my God moment for me. And I had a gentleman come up, can I please just hug you? And they tried to keep him. I said, it's fine. I embraced him. So it was those memories, you know, that opportunity that Mark gave me to even be able to experience that.
So we're back, and we're back with Mark Hubbard. All right,
Darlene told. Darlene, I know. Darlene, thank you. It's my girl. Giving up for years, y'all. Darlene, that's all I'm gonna say. Still to this day, help me, Lord, help me, Jesus.
Mark, so you know how like someone say that I can see your smile through the phone. You know, that's how I felt with your music. You know, I felt the presence, your choir's presence through the music. You know what I mean? And that was just heart. You know, it touched my heart.
Actually, I mean, just look for good writers. Yeah, some good writers, and I've always been blessed to have some good writers come my way. And then, you know, I know what I want to present. I know the sound that I want, the message I want to carry, the message I want to come across. So once I get a good song, I'm gonna open up, and once I get a good song, I know that it fits the voices. If we United Voice of Christ at that particular time. Now the voices, and so I knew that was the capture the song. So just special writers. I wrote a couple myself, but
Which one did you write?
In His Presence, I wrote In His Presence, one of the songs that I wrote, and then I wrote another song that Chris Harris wrote, I sang, as well as Jamie Simon's song. Me and Patrick both wrote that song together. I can't.
You're talking about the one that you all performed on Testify. You performed on Testify.
No, He Made a Change in Me was written by myself and Patrick. Good question. Yeah. Good question. I should have really studied my own history before I came here, huh? You take me way back. You take me back to the 80s.
Listen. If I'm not mistaken, that second album, what the second album did you have down on the river?
Yes.
Okay. Now, also, you had Bishop Morton's wife. She was featured on that same album, right?
Sister.
That was a sister, right? Right, his sister.
I Will Abide.
I Will Abide. Now, talk about, like, how did you get her involved in that project?
Well, actually, at that particular time, I was the assistant national minister of music for Full Gospel Baptist Church Fellowship under Bishop Morton.
Really?
So I was able to get Bishop Morton and his sister to be a part of the project at the same time. So by serving with him, I was able to ask, and they both, said yes. So that's how that came about. Yeah.
Now, look, you have United Voices for Christ, and now you're at Sweet Holy Church, Holy Spirit Church. Like, when did you join Sweet Holy first?
I joined. I did, yeah, I definitely remember. My mom passed in 80. My mom passed in 89, so 1989. So that's right. Yeah. So it was an ironic story. I actually remember my mom said that my mom was really, really sick. She passed away from cancer. So the church wasn't actually being, we weren't having service or anything like that. So pretty much my mom was in the hospital, so we weren't doing any service. The church was pretty much closed. So one Sunday I decided, I was going to go by Sweet Holy Spirit. And when I went by Sweet Holy Spirit, because I've been going down just visiting from time to time, and I was just sitting there, and the Holy Spirit said, get up and join because you need a covering. So I didn't tell my brother. I got up and I joined the church, Sweet Holy Spirit. And then that Tuesday, he went with me to Bishop Hubbard to see my mom on that Tuesday. And that Friday, my mom passed away. So it's an all story, but it was also divine because at that particular time when it happened, I had a covering to help me walk me through the process. So it was all divine for what God had planned. So I joined. He went, like I said, Tuesday, and I forget my mom wrote on a piece of paper. She told Bishop, hey, take care of my son. And so, like I said, yeah, you're right. I think we did. My brother still has it somewhere now. She said, told Bishop, take care of my son. So then on Friday, like I said, my mom passed away. He was there, and he helped us walk through the entire process. Him, Father Hayes at the time, Bishop Lucifer Hall. They all walked us through the process, and my mom passed away. No, I was sometime something before that. I actually brought Sweet Spirit to Christ.
Talk about that.
So as I said, and when I joined the church, then we had already recorded, and so I went to Brian Scott, who's the president of the label, and I said, I'm interested in bringing my church choir to the label, and he did. And so actually, the Sweet Spirit was actually signed with myself, the first project. I'm not signed through me.
Right.
I mean, I signed, but I brought Sweet Spirit to.
Because the first, I used to go to the Count It All, Jordan. You were part of that project.
The first project we did, yeah.
Exactly. Okay, man.
The Lord's blessed me. My worship is real.
We ain't gonna go there yet. But like Count It All, Jordan, I remember hearing it on the radio. I say, Count It All, Jordan, we hungry.
That's not what we said.
I know that. I'm just saying as a child, it was kind of,
Yeah.
But listen, the Lord is blessing me right now. that album, man, it's a joy in knowing Jesus.
Yeah, I wrote that song. I wrote that song. It's joy knowing Jesus.
I remember they played it on the radio one time, and then I was like, what is this? And I kept listening. I used to, at that time, cassettes were still around, right? So I had my cassette player in the recorder, waiting to press the record button. I remember one time it came on, but I caught it just a little bit after that first, when it first came on. I recorded it. I used to sit downstairs and play the drums.
Wow. That's amazing.
Absolutely. Now let's talk about your next level. Talk about what was different from the first albums leading up to the next level, because it was. I think you explored. You was a bit more, in a different element when it came to the next element, because you was singing.
Something I would never do again. The way they let me have it about that project. You won't do that again.
Man, we love that album, man.
Do you now?
Yeah, yeah. And I talked to, another thing, I talked to Pastor Deandre Patterson, and I was talking about the song that, the hymn that he made. And he actually said that song actually gave him a lot of exposure. Was really hard, and that was the cameo that you did with Mark Hubbard, the voices, when you did the, that medley. I mean, just tell us, how did that come about? I'm gonna put the album up so you all can see it, but I'm telling you, I remember he in this particular medley. He gave a story about a man in a box or something.
Bishop Mason, Mark, and the voices, and we all just kind of grew up around the gospel community in the city. And when the Lord just started opening up opportunities for me to sing, Mark and his choir wanted me to come, and so he said he wanted me to do some old school stuff because I love old school. Give me a hymn book and let's go. It's still relevant. It's still significant. I know people think that the praise and worship has just taken it, but all you need to do is get a whole lot of folk that don't mind you going to the at the cross, where I first saw the light. Just yeah.
I'm telling you.
Go to the hymn book. So Mark said, I want you to do some old school stuff, and I did some research, and there's so many stories out there about the Church of God in Christ and how it was formed and Bishop Mason, and when I told that story at one of the concerts, it tore his concert up. And so he said, I want you to get that on my album. And I said, okay, man. And then when I did that, that opened up other doors.
Oh, so that did open doors? Okay. I mean, I know it was really hot. Let's talk about Malcolm a little bit. When did Malcolm join us?
Malcolm joined the choir when he was in college, and that had to be back in the year. Darlene, do you remember the year? I have one of my partners that is like that. So she surprised me. Hey, Darlene! Hi! One of my old partners. Do you remember when he? Oh my God!
I don't know.
Okay, she don't know either. So again, Maurice is really taking me back, Jesus. You taking me back. He had to have joined the choir it was definitely early '90s. Had to be somewhere before '90. It had to be either 93 or 94 because he's definitely on the No I Won't Turn Back project, in which he also arranged King Jesus. He also wrote a lot of songs on He's Up That Praise. Right? He wrote High Praise on He's Up That project. So I believe Malcolm either came in either between 90 and 93, so long ago. And he became our director. He's an extremely talented young man. Yes.
That's a good project because Tina Watson, she wrote everything. I mean, I would listen to that song with tears in my eyes. But moving along. All right, so you signed with Bishop Trout. Talk about it.
So after that, Bishop Trout started Utopia Records, and so one of the first artists to sign with them on Utopia Records for that project, it came out Blessing Wait on Me, which we won our first Stellar Award from. Yeah.
Man, there's so many good numbers on there. Like even the first track with Malcolm, that first track, it was, the hype song. I mean, it's a lot of good tracks on that. I was in Phoenix, and somebody was talking about Blessing Wait on Me. I'm like, wow. I mean, they're still talking about that, but it's not even available anymore.
Well, we're going to upload the songs.
You are?
Yeah, back on either iTunes and on YouTube. So again, with the process now, of course, music is now after upload and passed out on the masters of those projects. So we've been in a discussion with them to upload the projects on iTunes and stuff like that. Yeah.
Also have movie credit too. If I'm not mistaken, were you in R. Kelly's Trafficking Market?
It would bring that up.
I was happy to see you. How did that come about?
I was the choir director in R. Kelly's Trap in the Closet series. And came about, we got the call, we wanted to put together a choir, and the film that she was spirit at that time on 103rd Street, and so they needed a choir director. Actually, they asked me to put together a choir. So I just put together a choir, had a bunch of scenes come together. Then all of a sudden, while I was just getting choir training and stuff like that, doing the movie, it's like, you just directed choir at the same time. So it was kind of something that's kind of was like put into the movie, and I just came to.
Was that beneficial for you?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, is there any more movie credits? I feel like there's something now.
No more movie credits.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Because the voices are taking off. Let's talk about your new music.
Yes.
Your side with Has Music.
Yeah, Has Sauce Entertainment. Yes, so great question. Hezekiah was a close radio personality as well. And I was at that particular, still an independent artist at that particular time. So I said, you know what, let me just send to him, because he's a longtime friend of mine. We grew up in the music industry together. I said, let me just send the music to him and see what he'll play on his record, on his radio station. So I was like, Bishop, here's my new single. Take a listen to it. Hopefully you'll play it on your station, stuff like that. So then he called me back. He's like, are you signed with anybody? I was like, no, I'm not signed with anybody. He said, okay, how about I sign you? And I started crying. To this day, I'm still grateful to him for that part. And so that's how I became a part of the project. Sent him this song called Now I Cry Holy. I sent him that project, that song, and he really loved it. He, like I said, he asked me to sign. I said, independent artist. Yeah. So amazing for a friend who grew up in the music industry to reach back and get you, and not forget, all the work that you put in the industry and to be a part of it. That was really amazing to me. So I'm really happy to be a part of that.
This that you have been administrative for.
Mm-hmm. So yes, I consult with the Chicago Music Arts Festival here in the city of Chicago. Former president for the Chicago chapter for the Grammys here, and a former governor as well. And then also have founder and CEO for an organization called Next Showcase USA. I can always never get my name right. Next Showcase USA. I'm the founder and CEO for that, which is a company that we showcase new artists from all genres of music, and get an opportunity to be in front of industry professionals, so they get an opportunity to get signed like myself, or appear on different festivals throughout the city of Chicago, things like that. So an administrator do like that, do a lot of production. I was just the tour manager for last year's McDonald's tour. Also production manager for the tribute to Richard Smallwood at Yale University. That was really a huge opportunity. Thank you, Don Lawrence, for that. And also other things that he brought my way. So, those are kind of things I'm really into production. I like the business side of it. I like the working side of it as well. I like to know all aspects of the music industry. So I'm always learning and always being educated.
I mean, I'm really, 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 really proud of you. But I just want to mention this before we go. I'm trying to remember who concert it was, but I have never seen this before in my life. I think you were lifting off. And that was okay. And I was like, first of all, you did not sing at all. But the way you directed that audience, it took time to calm the people down, man. I have never saw that before in my life. Yeah.
I do. Yeah, I remember like yesterday. First of all, I was trying to figure out why they asked me to lift the offering. That's number one. Why you asked me to lift the offering, but that's asking me to lift the offering. And God just shifted the room.
You did.
He shifted the room, and we had a good time. I mean, we danced for a minute. Yeah. It was a good time. And after that, I was like, "You come lift the offering?" I said, "No, that was that moment." But again, God has a way of using people the way He wants to use them. Like I said, I'm not a person who left offerings or something like that. It was in the moment, like I said, wasn't singing a note. It just, songs came and the Spirit of God moved, and we had a good time. Yeah, that was a good time. The next Walker's either anniversary, something like that. Was that West Point?
No, it couldn't. I don't. It may have been a CD release.
Yeah, okay.
But that sticks out. I was like, wow, go ahead. But I was proud voice right there. I was pointing at it.
Yeah, a really amazing memory.
Yeah. Any words of advice that you give any upcoming artists? My advice to all upcoming artists is to make sure that you're called to this. Like a lot of times you see the lights, camera, and action, you think it's overnight success. And for some it may be, and I don't have an issue with that. But when you're called to this, then you get the strength and the wisdom to endure. Because sometimes you're gonna feel like your bad days outweigh your good days. And you're gonna feel like it's gonna be a long rocky road. But at the end of the tunnel, there is light, and there is joy, and there is love and peace. And as long as you're doing it for the right reasons, of course, for the business side, we wanted all that. But I tell people all the time, if you call to your local, do your best in your local. Some people are called the masters, some people are called the local. Whatever God has called you to do, those like you touch those life, you make sure you do your very best to minister. So only what you do for Christ will last, but make sure you keep it first. Yeah, I forgot. Another thing that was amazing about you is you never neglect to show your appreciation to the Chicago scene. On your CDs, you gave praise and you recognized the complete Chicago gospel community, and for that, a lot of people learn more artists that they didn't know of, things of that sort. Like, thank you for having that type of heart. You're still doing it today. You have shows, and you don't look. They don't have to be gospel artists now, you know, but you have that heart to promote people. And I want to tell you thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you for interviewing, man. I appreciate that. I know you followed me through the years. Thank you for making me feel old. Saying I was a little boy when you came out. I just know. But I appreciate that. You know, I appreciate what you do because you also give us an opportunity to share our story, to tell our story. And but like I said, I love my city. I love music because it's a universal language. But I love my city. I love giving back to my city. Somebody gave me an opportunity, like Houston. So you know, it's one of those things I always want to give back.
Man, I've had fun.
I've had fun too, sir.
Listen, as I always say, y'all, love on someone and you will change a life.